I was wondering when this was going to come up, where I talk about this film and watch this film, where the lead guy looks like an evil emo Steve-O. Steve-O from Jackass. He looks like an emo Steve-O. Maybe call him Steve-Mo. But I like evil Steve-O. This has a better ring to it. Starring Bill Skarsgård and FKA Twigs, as if that should be a real name. FK. This is a paid request. Paid request. Thank you for that. And for those who want to request any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, video game playthrough, a full one, or trying it for an hour, whatever the case may be, PayPal usually the best bet. I do have a CashApp and a Patreon because people have asked about that. Links are in the info box, to the side, at the bottom, wherever it may be. By my nuts, whatever it may be today on YouTube. I'll get to as soon as I can, and thank you for the people who have sent that. I really appreciate it. I know this is my self-masturbatory advertising. Got that in there. Because I got the STD to this movie in my colon. And I need to splat it out of my insides and get the poison out. And I'm just discombobulated because I told people this movie would suck. And people think I'm crazy. I said this was never going to work. But people say I'm crazy. I could have saved you a lot of money, Mr. Studio Heads, and told you that no one would care to see a new Crow film, and you would screw it up. And then lo and behold, you screw it up. You what, $50 million, give or take? You put in this budget, it's not going to make any of that back. It's going to be a big flop. Everybody hates it. I have yet to hear one person say they liked this movie. And there's a good reason for it. There's nothing to like about the film. Can we just stop making Crow films? Is that against the law? I mean, how many times does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop? You know what the secret is in there? Is a little note, like a fortune cookie. It says, stop it. Stop making movies like this. Stop making Crow films. Can people admit at this point that The Crow was a lightning in a bottle opportunity and it succeeded? Brandon Lee, the way Alex Proyas directed it, with the look of the film and the style of the film and the soundtrack and the plot line based on the comic, it was a one-time deal, and it only needed to be a one-time deal because each time they have tried, they have failed. The Crow City of Angels I thought sucked, and it flopped because it sucked. Crow's Elevation pretty much went straight to video pretty much. If it went in the theaters, what, I don't even know where it went. It would go to hell is where to go to. Same with Wicked Prayer. Edward Furlong in his high drug-used state trying to be the Crow. I'd probably say that's still the worst Crow film I've seen. But this isn't a whole lot better. And they've been trying to make this film for like 16 years. Because I remember they would not shut up about the Crow. The Crow. The Crow. Bradley Cooper's going to be the Crow. Jason Momoa is going to be the Crow. Luke Evans going to be the Crow. Mark Wahlberg, Channing Tatum, Ryan Gosling, James McAvoy. Like every year, it was like, they're going to do the Crow. They're going to do the Crow. They picked every name out of the book. I'm surprised they didn't say Arnold Schwarzenegger's going to be the Crow, or Bruce Willis going to be the Crow, or Carrot Top's going to be the Crow, or Pauly Shore going to be the Crow. Just, they threw every damn name out there. And no one wanted it. There's a reason why they made this film in secret. And by the time it finished, people go, wait a minute, there's a new Crow film? The trailer came out. People thought it sucked. Even Alex Proyas and some of the people involved with the first film said this was going to be stupid. They moved it because they knew films like Bad Boys 4 and other films were going to demolish it. It came out and it still got demolished. By everybody. The Crow worked one time and one time only. I enjoyed the first Crow film. It's hard for me to rewatch it because it's what took Brandon Lee away from us. Granted, If it was another actor, then sadly that actor would have been taken away because of incompetence, people doing stupid things and not doing what the hell they're supposed to be doing. But I loved Brandon Lee. Part of me wishes that film was never made, because then Brandon Lee and nobody else would have died. Because again, if it wasn't Brandon, if someone else was casting the Crow, then they would have met the same fate. I'd rather just have the film not exist and Brandon Lee give us, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, movies. Maybe some good, maybe some bad, but just to keep going and see what happens next. To have more of a life that sadly his dad never got to do. But The Crow, with the way, again, it's shot, and the style, and the mood, and the atmosphere, and the action sequences, and the way Brandon Lee played it, it was a star-making turn. If he had lived, I think The Crow still would have been successful, and he would have gotten a lot of bigger parts. And sadly, that's just not the case. It's just how the cookie crumbles, so to speak. And again, since Stephen Norrington in 2008 said he wanted to do a Crow film, so many directors, so many actors, I mentioned some of them. It is true. Bradley Cooper, Jason Momoa, Luke Evans, Channing Tatum, Ryan Gosling, James McAvoy, Mark Wahlberg, they were all, I'm going to be the Crow, or they're going to get him for the Crow. And people said, stop. Stop making them. You made 3 other films that try to be the same movie as the first film, and nobody liked them. They did a TV show that, to be honest, I've always seen like the pilot, which I was kind of meh on. Although I like Mark Dacascos, I would say actor-wise, he's the second best after Brandon Lee. The show, I mean, I didn't see much of the other episodes, so I can't form much of an opinion. Again, I've only seen like the first one, which is trying to be kind of a remake of the film, but at the end does his own thing to create a show. But anyway, I would say of all the stuff after the first one, that's still the best I've seen so far. But it's not like that show was a successful 5, 8-year show. It didn't last that long. 1, maybe 2 seasons at most. I can't remember. But it wasn't like this huge breakout hit. Because not everything needs to keep going. I never want to see another Alien film. I never want to see another Predator film. I never want to see another Halloween film. I sure as hell don't want to see another Crow film. Stop it. And just think about it. Like, all these years, all this time of, we're going to make one, we're going to make one. 15, 16 years, and then it comes out, and wow, what a waste of time that all was. What complete waste of time. Congrats to the stupid studios, and you wonder why you lose money. You wonder why you go so out of business that companies will buy you out. You wonder. Because they go into these endeavors that people are warning you to your face, it's a losing effort, and you keep doing it. You know what the definition of insanity is? You keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. But no, it's the same result. Every Crow film after the first film have bombed, have been unsuccessful, have been panned critically and by fans. When will you get it through your thick fucking skull? Fuck. Stop it. Bill Skarsgård, I didn't mind him in Boy Teal's World, but he has no dialogue, so maybe that helped. Doesn't mean he has to be in every other damn film. And he does look like if Steve-O became emo. The girl he loves, Shelly, FK Twiz, what the FKA stands for? Fuck, teen, asshole? Is that what it stands for? Fuck, a teen, and an asshole. Maybe, because, well, you know what, that would at least have some kind of personality, because she has done. When Camp Control was the mannequin in Mannequin, she still had more personality than this lady, okay? I know she's in drug rehab at the beginning, but when they leave, she still seems like she's on drugs. Has this just no emotion, bland. I got more life out of this damn soda, because at least it's dripping. She don't drip. She's about dry as the Sahara Desert. Just that this whole movie is dry and boring. If you want to see the most boring Crow film, this is what this is. The worst one, I'd probably still say the fourth one. That's really bad. But the most boring one, here you go. Just barely any action. In fact, there's not a single action bit until like 45 minutes into the movie. Even then, it's nothing to chalk up. Unless you love CGI. And again, FK Twigs. What kind of name is that? It's a stupid name. Change it. You know, I don't like Twigs either. I like Twix. I can deal with Twix, but not Twigs. I don't want to step on them. I don't want them snapping in my face. I don't want them talking to me. And I don't want them on the screen as well. She sucked. Bill Skarsgård sucked. Pretty much everybody sucked in this movie. Danny Houston, who is an X-Men Origins Wolverine, is Stryker, and he's been in other stuff. He's going through the motions. He could play this in his sleep, playing another bad guy. Everybody else, you don't remember or give a rat's ass. Rupert Sanders, maybe you should be, I don't know, go with Bernie Sanders. I don't know, go find a bus to catch. I don't know. The same guy who did Snowman, oh, not Snowman. What the hell was this? Snow White, the Huntsman movie. Snowman. Maybe you should make some Snowman instead of directing movies, because maybe fuck that up too. So to get into the film, with my rambling out of the way, you have Emo Steve-O having a dream about when his horse died. Now, you get like a brief 30-second image of his mom who looks like a crackhead. I think, sincerely, she's supposed to be a crackhead. But they don't develop that. They don't go into that story about his backstory, about his mom, about what happened to it. It's just, you see it for 30 seconds, and all of a sudden that means you know everything about the guy. We got more development of his damn horse dying than his mom. I mean, I'm sorry your horse died. Maybe he's a big fan of the Lone Ranger. He doesn't like or maybe he's a big fan of Roy Rogers. And he's sad that Trigger died. Well, I'm Trigger as well. I wish all the characters in this movie died, because I wouldn't give a rat's ass. Is that why you're on drugs? Because you're sad that your horse died? I mean, yeah, I'd be sad if an animal of mine died. I wouldn't be doing drugs, including, you know, whether it be a horse. But yeah, he loves his horses. Maybe he's a My Little Pony fan, and he hates that real horses die. Fine, go watch My Little Pony. Be a brony, not a phony. Just stop being this Emo Steve-O. So he's a drug addict, and he's in a drug rehab. FK Twigs, fuck teen asshole, or whatever. She gets a text from her friend about this crime lord doing something on video. Now, if your life is in danger, I don't know why you don't just release the video to the internet. I mean, you have phones, you have the ability. Just release it on all the internet and all the police everywhere so they see it, and then, oh, whoa, well, this happened to pop up. Some cops are going to see it, you would think, and then, oh, let's see what this is about. Upload it, but no. Why she don't do that, I don't know. But her friend gets killed because Danny Houston made a pact with the devil, and he can say a word and control you. I'm like, oh great, so what, you think you're a preacher? You fucking preacher? Okay, now you're ripping off the Preacher comics? You have the Word of God? Obviously, they probably don't know what the hell that is. Preacher was this comic where your lead character, Jesse Custer, he got the Word of God, and when he spoke, they will do what he says. Only is much better on that. I didn't see much of the show because Seth Rogen's involved, and stay away from Seth Rogen. At least nowadays. I didn't mind some of the stuff back to the day, but nowadays I stay away like the plague. But he could control people, say it, so he makes this girl stab her throat. So Miss Twig, that's her name, Twigs, where's the berries? She runs off, she gets arrested because she bumps into some cops and she has a ton of drugs. I mean, granted, your life is in danger. I don't know why you brought the drugs with you, but I guess, hey, you know. Or unless she did it on purpose it looked like she purposely ran into the cops, maybe to get into the drug rehab on purpose, but again, That'd be a dumb idea as well. I don't know. She either was too stupid and she ran the cops that were standing right there, or she was too stupid to bring and she brought the drugs with her. Or this her plan along. Either, no matter what you look at, what angle, she's stupid. Completely stupid. And emotionless. Why do so many actresses think that having no emotion means good acting? I don't know what the deal is. But I guess that's the case for actresses nowadays. Or wannabe actresses. It's sad that Groot had more emotion and he is a damn twig. So she's in the same drug rehab as Eric, and I don't know much about drug rehabs. I thought they separated the sexes and wasn't a co-ed drug rehab. But I get maybe they are, maybe there are. I've never been to one. So you guys can let me know with drug rehabs. I thought they separated the genders because they don't want any funny business. Because in case, people start macking it, start kissing, giving blowjobs. You would think that would happen a lot, in drug rehabs. I need a fix. I'll fix your dick. Something like that. I mean, you think they'd be worried about that. Let's go to the bathroom. Oh, she got pregnant at the drug rehab. Sorry. I was injecting something. Because she likes the feeling being injected. So I injected some liquid into her. Hopefully not yellow. Hey, do you want to inject in your veins? Or inject in some other? You want something up your nose? It's white. It's not cocaine, but it's something else. But, whatever. So it's a co-ed rehab. So maybe they have that, but if they do, just saying, they might be sniffing stuff that's white and not cocaine. It comes out of a certain needle, flesh-colored. But, so they fall in love, and I have no idea why, other than they like tattoos. And the chemistry is not existent. Steve-O, Emo, and Miss Twig and Berries, they have no chemistry. I have no reason why they like each other. There's no reason to care about them. So you're watching a boring couple try to be a boring couple and barely be a couple because they barely know each other. They said like 5 words to each other. Somehow the bad guys find where she's at. I don't remember how that happened. I don't care. But they find where she's at. She's like, oh, I gotta escape. And it's the easiest escape ever. Steve-O Emo takes her to a room. They go through a vent. They're outside all of a sudden. They go up a fence. They put something on a barbed wire. They go up. They run off. And no one chases after them. No one notices. There's no security, no doors, not much for alarms, nothing. It's the easiest escape ever. So, okay. And never are they chased by anybody from the rehab center. Maybe they saw how boring this couple was and told them to stay the hell away from us too. How you die from boredom from this couple. And then they find a place and then they have sex. And they have no chemistry. They play a piano. At one point they're like in the woods or somewhere and they jump in a pond. Because with Shelley, when people are trying to murder you and you probably know your friend has died, yeah, go with this guy you met for 5 minutes and jump in a pond. That's how I always do it. And yet she seems on drugs when she's not on drugs. And Bill Skarsgård wasn't much better. Trying to look like Machine Gun Kelly, who's a prick as well. And the dialogue sucks. If I'm hard to love, try to love me harder. Well, like with a smack to the face? I don't know what you mean. You like it rough? S&M style? Explain it to me, lady. And then it goes on for so long, and it's so boring, and again, I think one of the big problems is that they try to build up a love story between the two. I can understand that point of view. I can understand, well, other films, they get right into the action. You want to have a love story, so you want to really build up this love story so that when she dies, you can really feel for the lead character. So when he's wreaking vengeance upon thee, you can really be in his shoes. But sadly, they've got a crappy actress and they have crappy chemistry with each other. And Bill Skarsgård, I'm not even a big fan of either. They got banal, boring dialogue. There's no zest, no energy between the two. There's no hot sensuality unless, okay, you see Bill Skarsgård's ass. Great. Be more emo with the Steve-O. Be my dad. I don't care. You go up and down all you want. But there's nothing between them. It's a dead plug. Might as well have a butt plug on my ass. I would feel more excitement than spark than these two did. Put a generator on my balls. And hook them up and zzz. They go somewhere. They both get suffocated. And emo Steve-O wakes up in purgatory. When the spirit world, asshole, they can't see it. And this guy comes up and goes, hey, you dead. And goes through, to put the wrong things right, and the crow will give you power and all this other stuff. How long we stay here is up to you. Pushes him, he comes back to life. He can't die. If he gets shot, he heals up like Wolverine. And, just like in the first film as well. And the first action you did is like 45 minutes in. There's a dirty cop who shoots him. They have a little bit of a struggle. It's not much. The guy stabs the dirty cop. There you go. There's not much. I get it. He's not supposed to be a special forces guy. He's not supposed to be a martial artist. He's supposed to be a regular guy who used to be a drug addict. But I'm just saying the action is not really that exciting or thrilling. They try to make it more gory later on. Granted, it's a lot of CGI gore, so it depends on how your feelings on that is. Emo Steve goes to see the girl's mom, although nothing comes of it, because she doesn't tell him a damn thing. He just goes to the girl's room and finds a little thing that the company she worked for. He tries to talk to a guy who won't give info, so he shoots him from the backseat of the car. He finds some info where these other people are at. He's shooting at the vehicle. He is slammed right through the windshield. And you think, okay, I have a gun. I have all these guys around me. Pop, 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 because you can't die, but he still struggles because he's a pussy. Again, I get that he's not supposed to be this Billy Badass, Special Forces, Chuck Norris style, but goddamn is he a pussy. This Steve-O, emo, he's a pussy. Gets his ass kicked, gets kicked out of the damn thing, and bad, horrible CGI gets run over. Looks like the CGI I saw in X-Men Origins Wolverine when Wolverine got ran over. And Sabretooth threw him into a truck. Looked like the same CGI, and that was back in 2009. This is 2024. It looked like the same CG. So then he goes to see another friend, and bad guys come in. He gets shot with a shotgun. He dies again. He keeps dying and dying because he sucks at it. And then the guy tells him, you fucked up, you're an idiot, The rules, which is some bullshit rules, in this movie with the crow is, you'll be immortal as long as your heart is pure, your love is pure. I guess he had seen some footage that looked like the girl he loved killed someone. So he had a slight doubt, and that's why when he was shot, he died, which I'm like, that's not really fair, because it's not like everybody can just really admit that possession is a thing, and devils and demons are a thing. It's not something we think of every day. And we all have doubts. Even when you love someone, you have doubts, because everyone has doubts. So the fact he doubted for like 30 seconds, all of a sudden everything's screwed, there's kind of some BS rules, man. Some bullshit rules. But, they run the marathon here. Pretty much Instead of in the original where the crow gets captured or gets shot or gets killed, you lose it, they go in a different way. So I appreciate they go in a different way. I don't know if this is like the comics. I don't know at all. Same with him having a guide. That's different. Yeah, okay, there's different things, to be fair. And what's something I say? I would like things to try to be different. But there's different good, different bad. Being different doesn't automatically mean better. Doesn't automatically mean it's good. And if this is your try, then it was a terrible try and you failed on the FCO tremendously. Because the guide, I'm sure that's the thing of the comics, because even in the first film they try to have someone like that played by Michael Berryman. I forget what the name of the character would have been, but then that wasn't finished and wasn't put into the film, in the first film. But even if that's in the comics, it's still just reminding me of, you know, wannabe Whistler from Blade 2, wannabe whatever that guy was in Spawn, trying to tell Michael Jai White what to do. Maybe, you know, the character didn't do anything for me, the actor didn't do anything for me. Maybe if the character's more interesting and he would have more personality and the actor had a bit more energy to him, maybe if there's something more to the character, I would have cared. But here I'm like, okay, he's exposition. We need someone to explain this guy what's going on, so he's Mr. Exposition. That's really all he's there for. So, and why the hell do they have to keep Eric? Like, okay, you want to make a new Crow film? Pick a different damn name. Doesn't have to be Eric. Even, I mean, the others are sequels, so they didn't have to go back to Eric. Just go and have someone else. Call him Steve. Might as well. I'm calling him Emo Steve. Oh, call him Steve. Scuba Steve for all I care. But anyway, he goes, my soul for hers. And the guy goes, well, her soul is damned. You do know that. I don't care. I love her. So he comes back. He kills a couple people with a shotgun. With the CG blood. Oh, before he comes back, there's the bit where, as he's getting ready to go back to the living again, this is like the third damn time this has happened, where he dies or something, he comes back, he's got to go back. This third time's a charm. I love that the crows, all the CG crows are circling them, like trying to be like Batman. You know how in Batman films the bat circle, and whether it be like Christian Bale or that one bit, and was it Batman v Superman with the kid like lifting him, and it's like, oh, now are you the Crow or are you Batman? And the Crow doesn't really, you don't really see a lot of the Crow in the real world. Maybe I kept missing it. Maybe I kept, but usually the Crow is with the, you know, him in the real world. That's not the case in this. If it was, maybe I missed it and I apologize. Maybe that's the thing I'm getting absolutely wrong and I apologize, but okay. So after he kills the 3 people with a shotgun, well, the last one he shoots and then he beats to death with it. At 1 hour and 15 minutes, he finally becomes the Crow with the coat and the face paint, looking like fucking Jared Leto and that Squad movie that no one liked, including me. Great, you look like Jared Leto's Joker. You look like Machine Gun Kelly. You look like Emo Steve-O. You like, this is not a benefit. This is not an upgrade. It's a total damn downgrade. Like, this is 1 hour and 15 minutes. We got like 15 minutes of the film, 20 minutes of the film left. So you almost say like the last 50, 20 minutes now wants to be a Crow film. A bit too little too late. Because you had a really, really boring first hour and change. The one positive I'll say is when he becomes the Crow, I like the song they use, but they stole it from another movie. Enya. Remember the movie Sleepwalkers? Stephen King's Sleepwalkers, at the end of the film. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I like that song. I like that at the end of Sleepwalkers. And you know what? As much as that film isn't that good, I'd rather watch that film than this. So that's sad that they took something from a better film, and that better film is Stephen King's Sleepwalkers. That says a lot. And again, I don't think that film's that great. But again, that film is even better than this. You know, again, don't steal from better films. Again, you stole from a better film, and it's Sleepwalkers. I had to wait so I don't choke on my damn thing. Rather choke on a dick than watch the film again. Just at least give me something more to talk about. And maybe dip me a badge in Glad. As in, I'm glad I don't have to see this film ever again. So he goes to the opera. And like, I knew this was going to happen. When you watch the trailer and you see the bit in the opera in the trailer, I'm like, that's the end of the film. And it is. It's the end of the film. Where he kills a group of people, and he's stabbing people. He's stabbing someone in the mouth, and he gets someone with a sword and pushes in, so the jaw goes down like this. Grand CG. I appreciate how gory it was. I appreciate how bloody it was. Granted, it is CGI blood. I know some people don't like the John Wick style action. I like that stuff. I'm fine if that stuff keeps happening for a decade, because as long as it's not the Bourne Identity Shady Tam stuff, I'm more than fine with that. I am. I don't really get tired of that stuff. I don't. Because I love that type of stuff. Because I actually like understanding what the hell's going on. But I don't care, because I don't care about the character, I don't care about the villains, I don't care about the story, I don't care about the plot, I don't care. It's stuff you've seen done better in multiple films with just more CGI blood. So when you don't care, and he's using a sword and a gun, but mostly a sword, just because, hey, the Crow is famous for using all the guns, so I'll use a little bit of gun, but use a sword to differentiate itself. Okay, but I don't know when the hell he knew how to use a sword now. But he does. Now he's a Mr. Samurai. And I appreciate that to be rather gory. I do. He has a sword and cuts someone's head a little bit in half. I like that. Even though it's CGI gore. And I will almost say, despite that, the action scene was fine. But I don't care. This is really the only action scene you don't remember. It's a couple minutes long. It doesn't save the film. And you're not going to give a rat's ass, because you're not going to see the film ever again. He kills the people there. He finds Danny Houston at his place. He tries to possess the guy. The guy overcomes the possession. They go out the window and more CGI land. And they fall back to the purgatory. And then Danny Houston gets smacked in the face and lands in this puddle. And it looks like a bunch of CGI eels. I don't know what the hell they were. Just the souls of the people he screwed over. But they look like CGI eels. Just eat them up. The girl is back. Pretty much they can't be together. She gets resuscitated. And I know that they're supposed to switch places. And I guess because her body... I don't even know what happened to her body. At one point it looked like she jumped off a bridge. But I didn't know if that was a vision he was seeing or she was being controlled. But then she was dead at that point actually. So no, she was suffocated. So did they take the body and go somewhere? Was that the morgue? I can't remember the details. But did they go back in time and to do that? Where there's dead side by side but now she wakes up and he stays dead? Is it like a bit of time travel? But then all the people we killed are still dead? I'm assuming that's the case. But if that's the case, are the people that died who were not the bad guys, are they dead too? Like some of Emo Steve-O's buddies, are they still dead? Or is her body just plucked up along with his and placed right here? That all of a sudden there's these paramedics there to resuscitate her? They magically just teleport the bodies here and this takes place after the opera? I don't know. I didn't really understand that whole thing. Someone can feel free to explain to me. Yes, I know it's my soul for hers. I'm saying like the whole placement, time, the whole thing there. I didn't understand. When, where, or what? And then we see him in the purgatory. And I'm guessing he's going to go to hell because they said, like the guide said, well, if you trade your souls for hers, you do know she's damned, right? That means she's going to hell. So does that mean he's going to hell, or does he stay in purgatory and then decide whether he goes to hell or not? But he does say you'll never see each other again. So he's not going to go to heaven. So he's either purgatory, I'm guessing hell. They just don't want to show him in hell to be even more depressing. But I mean, even that's depressing. Like, okay, I don't like the character in this movie. I don't give a rat's ass. But even if you somehow did, even if they got everything right, even if they did everything right, which would be a slim chance in hell for them to do, you're still left with, oh, yeah, he's going to hell until the sequel. Which I guess there was a different ending, but then they nixed it, and then they did this ending because they wanted to perpetuate a possible sequel. Yeah, good luck with that happen, because that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen at all. This movie's just a waste of space. And this movie's just a waste of time. I don't see what you could get out of this. Even if you're going into it for thrills, there are none. The first hour and change are incredibly boring, except for all you have for action. You have two little scenes where he shoots a couple people with a shotgun, and he has a scruffy fight with the guy that is, there's not much choreography, just people fucking around for a minute. Two leads who have a lack of emotion, a lack of chemistry, are very boring with each other. Musical score, completely forgettable. Soundtrack, the one song I remember is the one I mentioned with Enya. The rest of it, nothing noteworthy on the soundtrack, the songs, the music used. It's called The Crow. He doesn't really become the Crow until like technically an hour and 15 minutes to the film. The villains, generic would be a nice way to put it. Gore, I mean, there's violence, but again, CGI. However you feel about that. They spend so much time building up, well, building, although there's not much of the blocks left to build on this foundation because it's all rotten. A bunch of thin air. Maybe because you're building with twigs. Huff and puff and blow you down. That's the thing, you're spending time with two people that have nothing to them. Again, you like, oh, this guy having dreams about his horse dying, and he hurt his hands and had a boo-boo, because, because he cut his hands on barbed wire. Okay, but why was the horse there in the first place, and his mom was a crackhead, and what happened to him afterward? Did he just decide to do drugs because he kept thinking about his horse? Maybe he saw Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and saw the white horse in that, so he got PTSD. I mean, I don't blame him. At least that'd be a more valid reason why the hell it would have been else in this movie. Because I saw Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and I wanted to do drugs. I didn't, but I thought about it. I'm sure you did too. And that has your white horses in it. FK Twigs. She's a waste of space of a person. I don't know the person. I'm talking about the character. And her acting. Her acting, limited would be, I guess, a good way to put it. Non-existent is the better way to put it. Nothing to her acting. There's barely any action except the opera bit. The opera bit, I guarantee, is on YouTube probably now. And you probably see, go, big deal, it's not much to it. Which I don't blame you. And even for me, I'm like, there's something happening. Maybe just, I'm glad something is happening in this movie. This was a waste of time. And again, you're being too mean. When I talked about The Crow and it's going to suck, you need to give it a chance. How many times do you need to give chances to movies and then they end up being like this before you become at least a teeny bit more cynical or at least a teeny bit more hesitant on them continuing these damn franchises. Are there exceptions? Sure. I like Beverly Hills Cop 4 I liked. That surprised me. It's not perfect, but I liked it. But much more often you get films like this. Again, The Crow was a lightning in a bottle with a star-making performance by Brandon Lee, although I loved him in Showdown in Little Tokyo and I loved him in Rapid Fire. I'd probably say I like those films more than The Crow, but I do like The Crow. But you can't do it anymore. No one wants to see any more Crow films. Can this finally get it into people's thick skulls that just let it die? Love never dies? Well, there ain't no love for the franchise, so it's dead. The love for the first one, that will never die. And it'll always be compared, and it'll always lose. Because if we compare it to the first film's going to win each time. And the up-and-comer is going to lose each time. And there is no love for the franchise. So that could die. Just hate and despair with the rest of this franchise. Stop it. Warned you for 10 years. Or when I've been on this channel, I remember 10 years ago I would have, like, my friend Effrey, when he used to have a channel, and then Mike, and we would get together, the three crazy guys, and we'd read news about the Crow, and it's like, no, don't do it. And we warned them back then. But no one wants to listen, and now you lost a lot of money, and people are making fun of you, as you deserve. Stop making Crow films. I don't care if it's a female Crow, or a black Crow, or the Counting Crows, or Sheryl Crow. I don't give a fuck what kind of Crow it is. Stop making them. Just no one wants to see them. As the box office entails, for every single Crow film after the first. You have made 5 Crow films. 4 of them have bombed. Get the hint. Even ones that went straight to video, they still bombed. Because no one cared. And no one liked them. Give it up. Get it through your thick skull. So yeah, this movie sucks. Emo Steve sucks. Miss Twigs and Barry sucks. And the Crow film, the first is good, but this franchise sucks. And that's the way it is.